You're very well versed in electronics. Yes. Besides, I would mute or I'd hit mute or delete.
It's about time, Jose.
Yes, ma'am.
Who's at the computer tonight?
No one's in front of the computer.
Okay,
Hold on. We'll put Mr. D'Ambro in front of the computer.
okay, I'm about ready to call it to order here. It appears that the IVs are at the meeting.
I can't launch anything for this. I hit the wrong.
Don't touch it.
Poor Bob. Are we ready to call the meeting to order?
Yes.
It is
We can.
7:30, so I'm going to go ahead and call the regular board meeting of the Santa Ynez Community Service District to order Wednesday, November 17th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. California time. And if we could go ahead and call roll, Wendy.
Director Redfern? Director D'Ambro?
Here.
Director Mears?
Here.
Director Jones?
Here, and Director Van Pelt has notified Wendy and I that he's not able to attend tonight. So we appreciate getting that heads up. And since we have the roll call, I do want to ask Jose, do we need to skip ahead to the action item on the remote meetings, or can we carry
No,
on
ma'am.
according to the agenda?
You can carry on according to the agenda. That covers us for 30 days, which is still a couple days out, so we can do it on the agenda as it's placed.
Very good. Oh, okay, you're out in front of it. Thank you. Okay, if we can stand, and Director Beard, can you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God.
with liberty and
Liberty
justice.
and justice for all. Thank you very much. And now, are there any comments from any of our directors that something not on the agenda that anyone would like to discuss before we get going? Director Redfern?
No?
I just have a very brief comment. Something that Director Redfern and I mentioned. Well, it's really what started our relationship back before Director Redfern was even on the board. But I would like in the near future to put on the agenda and start pursuing, trying to investigate the best way to proceed for the valley when it comes to wastewater treatment, and maybe talk to our peers again in other communities. It's not on the agenda, but it's just something I would like to talk about going forward, because something on the agenda is a very big thing that's finally been accomplished. So I think we're going to have some energy to take on another big project. So anyway, that's my only comment tonight. Any other comments? And if not, we can move on. Okay, are there any comments from the public that are not regarding items on the agenda?
Yes, yes, I would like to. I just found out that we're not going to get the figures tonight for our connection. And I'm really under a very tight deadline to get orders out for Thanksgiving. So I'm going to excuse myself and I'll come back when we have the figures finalized. But I did want to make the board aware of something that I'm experiencing. I've contacted 4 contractors and not a one of them has given me an estimate. 2 of them has told me that it was too difficult to connect to my house. The other 2 has not responded or given me a bid or returning my phone calls. So I want to put the board on notice that if I cannot get a contractor to connect my home, I'm asking the board to assist me in finding a contractor to get me connected and let me just pay you or something. I gotta do something to get connected. So I wanted to throw that out there and see if you guys had any idea, any suggestions to have. I've worked all of these years, and now that we've got it down the street, I'm not gonna be able to connect it if I can't get a contractor to do the work for me. So that's where I'm at.
Can you send us a
I
list?
appreciate
I
hearing
want you
about
guys to
this.
Talk about it and see if there's any suggestions or any ideas that you can help.
Can you send us a list of who you have contacted?
I'm sorry.
Can you send us a list of who you've contacted?
Yeah, I will. And I don't want to be rude, but if, I cut off the ovens and laid down my spoon to be here. So, I thought that we were gonna have some figures tonight, but I'll be back, you know, and I'll send this to, you want me to send it to Jose, the list that I've contacted
Yeah.
and that kind of
Have
thing?
you tried Barney Hanley or
I'm
the
sorry.
Johnson brothers?
Yes. We've given her all the names that we have,
Yeah.
but we could discuss
we're
this
gonna
maybe
be-
on a future.
We're going to be talking about, we're going to get a progress report and an update from our general manager, so we can talk in more detail about it, but I appreciate being made aware, and we will discuss this further when we get to the update, if that works.
Okay, I'm at my wit's end. I don't know. I'll call, I'll do wherever, but if they don't return my calls or give me a bid, I don't know how I'm gonna connect, so.
I feel for you. That's my daily life.
Okay, if you guys excuse me, then I'll see you next time,
Yeah.
okay?
It was good seeing you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, and we will talk more about that when we get to that part of the agenda. But right now, is there any other public comment? I can't really tell. I see there's a person or two still there.
Mr. Kerr and Jay Freeman are here, so.
Oh, okay, well, I'm sure they're able to speak up if they would like to comment. I'm gonna go ahead and move on and get a report from our general manager, Jose Acosta.
Okay, just we'll discuss it a little bit further, but we complete the final walkthrough of the project. We did it 2 times walkthrough with STI. Everything was satisfactory. They completed all the work that needed to be done on the easements and throughout the streets. And we gave them the notice of completion, and well, we're gonna finalize the notice of completion and acceptance, but we let them know that the work was complete and accurate, but we'll discuss that when we get to Horizon Drive updates as well. Collaborated again and worked with the personnel committee to provide documents and information regarding for negotiations with the union. Completed my required CSDA training for sexual harassment prevention and ethics, and so I just want to mention that we need the board members to make sure that they've completed their training as well, and we'll reach out to Bradley as well and ensure that he completes his. But if you just want to check with Wendy, if you know you've done it, then no need to check with her, but if you need to check with her, okay. So everyone's good, that's present today. And lastly, I want to mention is prior to December 1st, I will be providing all the board members with the required documents for the general manager's evaluation, which is due in December, at the December board meeting. And so there's a packet that I will submit prior to December 1st. I will email those documents, and if you'd like a hard copy of it, just respond to the email, letting me know, and we'll have a copy printed here for you. So, and we'll place that item on the agenda for the December board meeting in a closed session. That's all. Attached are the 2 monthly reports for the collection system and the wastewater treatment plant as well for review of the board. Do you have any questions on the general manager's report?
Thank you. And I see that legal counsel isn't here tonight. Is there anything that you wanted to report on that front, Director Acosta, manager, excuse me?
Legal counsel has no report for the board at this month's meeting, so we decided not to have them present for the meeting today.
Very good. Then we can move on to Secretary Treasurer, Wendy Berry.
Okay, we finalized the audit. So Niagara will be presenting the board with the final audit probably in January. And I have one more module on the new software, which is bank recs training, and that's tomorrow. So once that's done, then we'll be finished training on the software. That's all I have.
Okay, committee report. Director Redfern and I continue to meet as a committee and with our attorney, Nate Kowalski. Sometimes just Frank and I, and we will update further in the closed session. So move on to the consent agenda, and Wendy had a clarification that she wanted to make on the dates. It should read from October 16th through November 15th. Is that correct, Wendy?
That's correct. So when you go to make a motion to approve it, we just need to include the change to November 15th.
Okay. So right now I'm asking for any corrections or additions, questions to the consent agenda. And can I get a motion to change the date of approved disbursements from October 16th through October 15th rather than 12th? Is that right, Wendy?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So if someone would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda with that change, and any others if you need to add anything.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, Wendy, do you want to do a roll call?
Okay, we have a motion by Director Redfern and a second by Director Beard to approve the consent agenda with the change of approval of disbursements from October 16th, 2021 through November 15th, 2021. We'll do a roll call vote. Director Redfern,
Aye.
Director Jones,
Yes.
Director Beard,
Yes.
Director D'Ambra.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, now we will move on to action item 8A, and this is what I referred to at the top of the meeting. General Manager Acosta, if you would like to give the staff report on that.
So we'll be reviewing and discussing the same policy and resolution that was adopted at last month's board meeting 2113. This resolution will allow board to continue conducting its meetings remotely and allowing board members to attend the meetings virtually in a remote location without having to adhere to the Brown Act requirement of posting of the meeting at their location and inviting into their location where the meeting's at. So what we're looking for is a motion to approve adopting resolution 2113, a resolution of the Board of Directors of San Ynez Community Service District authorizing remote teleconference meetings of the district's legislative bodies pursuant to Government Code Section 54953E.
So moved as stated.
So Director Beard has moved to make that motion as stated. Is there a second?
I'll make a second.
So the motion
So
is
we have a
been
motion
made.
by Director Beard and a second by Director D'Ambra to approve resolution 21-13, authorizing remote teleconference meetings.
Any discussion before we vote? Wendy?
Okay, so we'll do a roll call vote. Director Redfern,
Aye.
Director Jones,
Aye.
Director Beard,
Aye.
Director D'Ambra.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Very good, thank you. I look forward to being there in December. So we can move on to action item 8B, and our general manager, Jose Acosta, will give us the mainline extension project update.
So I have a couple updates for this project. SCI has completed all contractual obligations. Staff, SCI, along with Mr. Kerr, construction manager, did a final walkthrough on Friday, October 22nd, checking all work that was performed and completed along Horizon Drive and through the easements. Everything was completed satisfactorily, and as I stated, through the contractual obligations. There were a couple concerns on that Friday when we made that walkthrough on one of the properties, but SCI quickly remedied those and got those completed by that weekend. There was a follow-up on one of the residents as well after that rainstorm we had that was unsettling. And so that customer contacted SCI. They came out the next week and remedied that as well right away. So the project is complete. The main line's ready for connection.
I do have a question.
Yes,
If there's continued settling in those trenches, will they come out and address it?
I
or-
believe our contract calls for a 1-year guarantee of the work.
Okay,
But how can there be settling when they have done compaction tests? Like, this is kind of strange.
They did do the compaction testing. We did receive the reports daily of the compaction testing from Geotech, the Geotech company as well.
How far spaced were those tests?
They were spaced out, it wasn't continuous.
No, I wouldn't be continuous, but was it every 100 feet or was it every 300 feet or?
It was, I would say it was about every 100, 150 feet. He would come out and do 2 or 3, depending on what time you got there during the night.
The only reason this worries me is that our native soil here does not compact well. And the district got into a huge mess way back when with compaction and trench lines falling years later. I actually looked at somebody's fence that was supposed to be a 6-foot high fence that dropped down to be 3 feet tall. And when we dug down, I could look under the fence line and see all the posts hanging in the air on the trench. So just to beware,
We'll make sure we make it, keep that in mind.
because if it happens one more than a couple times, you're gonna have it happen a lot.
Well, I think what we can do is make a note that to have compaction, maybe bring out a firm to do some compaction testing prior to the 1-year warranties completed. And if we need to, we can have SCI.
Where was the settlement?
It was on the Hart property. But it was also while he was pulling a trailer and his big truck through the property. He had some settling, not settling, but some ruts that he drove through on his property.
that's. Yeah,
And
fresh
you're saying-
compaction, even though it's compacted, it's still, it still can do ruts and stuff, especially since it's soil.
It was compacted with nothing more than native soil. And so there was no base or nothing like that solid or
But
strong.
you can only do very short lifts with the native soil here.
Correct.
Okay,
And we have a 1-year warranty that goes along with the work that we did on the property. Are we talking about the easements?
Yes, all the work that was performed on the easements is included in their contract.
I think if you get one more sink, that you should immediately do compaction test because we don't need to wait a year.
okay.
This also brings up this, you can tell me, General Manager Acosta. The
Sorry, Karen,
Ivy's
you're breaking
left
up.
already, but in her oh, I'm sorry. Miss Ivy's public comment, is this an appropriate place to discuss Miss Ivy's request?
So I'm just gonna discuss the customer capacity fees. And so we've been waiting for all final invoices to come in. Wendy has completed what we believe is the final numbers for those all invoices that have been submitted. We will be presenting those figures to Clayton so that we can compile a final Horizon Drive capacity fee study and have that presented. So we're hoping to possibly, if the boards, we'll send out an email to see if the board's available the week after Thanksgiving to hold a special meeting to present that report.
Are there any additional public comments?
Mr. Kerr, do you have anything that you'd like to add at this time?
And we don't have anybody on the computer, right?
No, we do not.
And can we discuss Mrs. Ivy's comment?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe, I mean, as a courtesy to them, maybe we could contact a contractor and maybe contact some of the people that are hooking up and see about package deal.
I've spoke to Hanley Construction and Craig Lytle about that. And one of the contractors, Jeff Clapp, he is working with Craig Lytle. So I can call Craig Lytle tomorrow and find out like what the deal is. But through our installment payment plan, we can do the project and fund it, have her do the installment payment plan with the contractor, but it's it would be our contract. And she wouldn't have a say in who the contractor is or what they're doing, because it would be through us.
Okay.
So it would cost her more money.
It costs more because you're gonna have to pay prevailing wages as
Right.
well.
Is there any reason why hers is particularly hard?
Ours is probably one of the deepest ones, but we brought it up to a
Right.
grade where they should be able to connect
And-
stuff.
Right, easily, right?
Yes.
4 feet or something.
Yes, we didn't go that deep.
The water, should have a water.
That she could have some water in her trench line as well, so, but they don't know that till they get down there and dig.
Yeah.
And I don't think we experienced water till we were deeper than 4 feet when we were doing construction.
The water way down.
Yeah.
There would be no water in her line.
Yeah, there should be no water,
Her lateral.
so.
Okay.
But the board could discuss possibly entering into a contract with the contractor to perform these lateral installations. But again, as Wendy mentioned, it would be on the district to get the contract, finalize the contract, manage the contract, and then pass those costs on to the customers, which would be higher than if they were able to get a contractor on them. I think what we can do is we'll contact a few of the contractors that we've recommended ourselves and see what their schedules look like. And we'll make a list of that and have that ready for next month's meeting or even at the special meeting to present what they've told us.
Yeah.
Personally.
Do we have a list of anybody that has said, yes, we are going to hook up right away?
We have about 4 or 5 names that have called in and said that they want to connect right away. We have,
And would it be advantageous to talk to all 4 of them and say, why don't you band together, do it privately because it'd be cheaper, and almost put out an RFP to the contractors from them saying, look, this is what we want.
I believe.
Do it as a package deal. And, or
Would entice them.
entice them to do a package deal and it would be easier.
I believe Mr. Waples may have had some luck with the contractor. So we can contact him, see who he's gone through and see if he's willing to allow us to give us that number, and then we can contact that contractor
Yeah.
and give them the information to the other
Yeah.
customers.
I mean, I want to help them, but
Yeah.
I don't,
The
when I
cost
take
is
it on
cool.
it, it costs them more money,
Yes.
That would like be a last resort for us to go onto their property and ultimately be responsible.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
I can't believe that it's that difficult to get guys to plumb it in, pump it out,
It's not,
fill it.
there's no employees.
Pardon?
It's,
No employees.
I,
Employees are being stolen.
Well,
So guys are working with
Frank,
small
everybody's
crews.
busy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is. Not there's no employees. Everybody's busy doing work. I get it all the time. It's when they get to the point when they're finished with one job, they can get on to another. Right now, I know a lot of contractors are just saying, I'm not taking on work, I'm busy, and that's been pretty much the past few years. It's not that there's not available, it's just that there's an overwhelming amount of demand for contracting services, and that changes, that's cyclical.
Well, I know that I could do a lot more work if I could get 2 more men, but I can't find 2 men.
Well, you pay the right salary, I'll come work for you.
Yeah, we pay really well, actually.
yeah.
But how long are you gonna handle a pick and a shovel?
Right.
That's the thing.
I have 3 electricians that I use on a regular basis. I have 4 projects. They basically said, we'll get to you in a month. You know,
I don't know what the current status is, but I had some work done by Coast Plumbing a couple of years ago. And the person managing the job asked about how people found us or found work to do hooking people up. So I don't know if Coast Plumbing is a place, but if we have a few choices on a list, it might be helpful.
yeah.
Basically, that's excavation type contracting.
Yes.
It's not your typical plumber to do that. They like water heaters, faucets, toilets. That's a talent all itself to transfer from the septic, disband it, and then plumb it into the plug there. So
Yes,
it's a
this
heavy
one-
plumbing, you could say.
Yeah.
The average plumbers are nothing but guys making 15, 20 bucks an hour doing stuff like that. And I think it's just wiser to get somebody who specializes in going underground, doing that kind of thing, as opposed to going through the phone book and looking for a plumber who's hungry.
We use Lidl a lot in
Gary, yeah.
for Skyline Park, and he's good, you know, and he
No,
does a
he's
lot of,
great.
like, difficult stuff, so,
Yeah.
I'll call him tomorrow.
okay.
He did tell her that he was busy, and when he gets unbusy, he will call her back.
Gary's always busy.
Huh?
He's always busy.
Yeah.
And that's a compliment to him.
And there's R.L. Johnson too, we want contact.
Okay.
And
That's
why-
I'm not remembering his name, but up here, Faraday is, what is his name? He's got a truck and a backhoe. He does that sort of
Oh,
thing.
Hendricks.
Hendricks.
Yeah, well,
Oh, I've used it. Hendricks Douglas Pool for me.
yeah. I
Hendricks,
don't
He
know if
does,
he
he's,
They're all
I don't know
good
if he
hands.
does
They're all
sewer
good
lines.
guys.
I've never seen anybody operate a backhoe as good as this guy. I mean, precision.
Yeah. It's good.
General Manager Acosta, what action do you need from the board on this item?
We need no action at this time. This was just an update information.
Okay.
Okay, then let us move on. So we need to file the notice of completion. Can you give us that information, please? 8C.
Yes, if I can real quick, I wanna, you wanna stay for this one, Mr. Kerr?
Yeah, I wanna.
Okay.
I'll stay for this. This is the notice of completion, and that will be dated today.
Yes, sir.
And then that will start the date for the guarantee,
Yes.
once that's filed. So I still have some paperwork that I have to gather from them based on this approval.
Okay, perfect. So California Civil Code sections 8102 and 9204 requires notice of completion to be filed within 15 days after completion. And the date of completion is when the board approves this notice today. So attached is the notice of completion for the board review. And we need several motions and several directions from the board.
Okay.
The following are motions that I need from the board. The board hereby accepts the work completed by the contractor. The board approves final payment to the contractor in the amount of $54,250.45 in accordance with the calculation set forth for the contract expenses prepared by the district's engineer. Number 3, the board directs the staff to prepare and file with the official records of Santa Barbara County a notice of completion relating to the project. And number 4, the board directs the staff to make final payment to the contractor in the amount of $54,250.45, 35 days after the filing of notice of completion.
And is there a director that would make that motion as stated?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, and do we have a second?
I'll second it.
And Wendy, can we get a roll call vote? read the motion and then call for a vote?
Yeah. So we have a motion by Director Beard and a second by Director Deandra to accept the work completed by the contractor, approve final payment to the contractor in the amount of $54,250.45 in accordance with the calculations set forth in the contract expenses prepared by the district engineer. Directed staff to prepare and file the official records of Santa Barbara County notice of completion relating to the project. And direct staff to make the final payment to the contractor in the amount of $54,250.45, 35 days after filing the notice of completion. We'll do a roll call vote. Director Redford.
Aye.
Director Jones.
Aye.
Director Beard.
Aye.
Director Deambra.
I,
Motion passes.
Thank you. I'll be in contact with you, David.
Very good. Thank you very much, Mr. Kerr. For item 8D, is this going to be Wendy giving the staff report?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
So, back in, I think it was March, April. So in April, we took, closing out the checking account and the money market account at Mechanics Bank, and opening up a 5-star checking account to avoid fees. But thinking that through, it's probably best if we leave the money market account open so we have access to cash in case we need it, because every once in a while we get cash deposit. So I checked with Mechanics Bank, and she said in the money market account, if we leave it open, we have to have a minimum of $3,000 in the checking account to avoid any fees. So I think that's the best option for the district. And so resolution 21-11 authorizes staff to keep open the money market account at Mechanics Bank with a minimum of $3,000. And currently there's like $5,005 in it. And the Rabobank or Mechanics Bank checking account is officially closed.
Are there any public comments or staff discussion or questions?
And there's no other easy way to get cash.
There would be no other way to get cash if we closed it, because all our deposits go through a remote deposit machine to 5-star. So there would be no way to get cash because they're up in section.
so this one, you just go to any Mechanics Bank.
We don't have a debit card, but we have checks.
So you write a
But-
check and
but
cash a
we
check.
can- Well, we don't have checks on the money market, but we could take our deposit over to Mechanics Bank and put the deposit in there if we needed to, like if we got cash.
So it just gives you a little more flexibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Do we have to accept cash?
We don't have to, no.
But in the event that we had a need for cash, petty cash.
For petty cash.
Yeah, I mean,
So
we
it's
have,
if we get a cash deposit, cash payment, or if you need petty cash.
yeah, and we do have $150 petty cash bank
Mhm.
that's kept in the file
Yeah, but
cabinet.
that's got to be replenished.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So it's up to you guys.
I don't think I have a problem with that. What about you?
I mean, we still earn interest on the Mechanics, on the money market. It's low, but we keep a low amount in there.
It's nice to have an account 2 doors down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay,
I'll
is
make
there
that
a,
motion. I'll make that motion.
Director Beard has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, so
Okay,
we have a motion by Director Beard and a second by Director Redford to approve resolution 21-11. Resolution of the Board of Directors of the Santa Ynez Community Services District approving to keep open the Mechanics Bank money market account. We'll do a roll call vote. Director Redford.
Aye.
Director Jones.
Aye.
Director Beard,
Aye.
Director DeAmbro.
I,
Motion passes.
you're just gonna keep what's in there, I take it.
You know, we didn't cover one thing.
Yes, sir.
What's happening with the people down on that connected illegally?
Okay, so we actually did contact the county, and the county says that they found no evidence of illegal connection, and they stated that both residents have installed their own private wet wells.
Are you talking about Sagento or Verizon?
Oh, sorry,
I'm talking about Sagunto.
Burtness, the Burtness property.
The thing that you publish on their account is in the process of being recorded.
The lien is being
The lien,
recorded.
yes, the lien is being recorded.
The mechanics
Never
lien.
heard from them.
We never heard back
Never
from
heard a
them.
word.
So what did the county say?
Oh, we're talking, oh, sorry, I thought Mr. Redfern was talking about Horizon Drive.
Oh, okay.
We can talk about that too.
You were talking about the guy up here who
Right.
plumbed it in.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Mr. Burtness, so the lien has been filed with the county, and the lien will be placed on the property for those amounts.
And he's never responded?
Never
It-
responded.
It turned out to be $6,600. And some
Ah.
change.
Now, it was not Mr. Burtness, though, it's somebody else, right? Mr. Burtness, I think he passed away.
It's Mr. Burton's son
Oh,
And-
okay. Mhm.
and Mr. Burton's wife.
Right.
I take it you wrote him a very professional letter saying, following a protocol, if this doesn't happen, we're going to do this.
Yes.
And over a period of time, mechanics lien take incremental periods of time before you go to the next step, as I recall.
This was back in July when we first.
Started it. Okay.
But we had to wait. like
And he's made
90
no contact. How many contacts have we made with this guy?
We sent him, so in the beginning, I probably sent him 7 different emails saying that you owe us capacity fees. Hence why I got that person in the office is crazy, because I sent it to his PO box, I sent it to her PO box, I sent it to 3 emails that, for him, her, and one other one that I didn't even know if it was even valid. And then we sent, never heard anything from that. And then the guys went out there and they talked to him. And then we sent out the original letter, and then,
A registered letter.
yes,
Okay.
yes, with proof of delivery.
Okay.
And then we sent out this last letter and a letter before that.
So we,
They've been contacted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In
They're
each
just-
letter, he's been invited to come to the board as well, to
Yeah.
discuss with the board, see if the board had anything that they would like to hear, or possibly get some relief from the board. But he's never accepted those offers, I guess.
well, I think we've certainly did a good job trying to be fair to him. And I think, yeah, we should go after every penny that's owed us. Especially when
The sad
it's,
thing is if he had just written the check 3 days before that, none of this would ever happen.
Yes.
You know, the real weird thing for me is that he's my boss at the Vista Doors.
Oh, it's,
I didn't realize this was him until just now.
did you see him this last weekend?
No, I did not, but I haven't seen him.
he didn't call you and say, Frank, can you help me out here?
I don't think he knows I'm here either.
You might want to keep it that way.
I'm thinking that too. Mark the word.
And then really quick, that's the Horizon Drive. We did follow through with the county, and they said that they found no illegal activity, that they actually have filed that show that they've installed their wet wells. They gave us 2 dates. One was in July of 2020 and April of 2021.
Yeah, so the neighbor that he connected to had her septic tank replaced in April of 2021. That was one of the dates.
Yes.
Actually, now that you mention it, I sat at a table with him at a party. And was introduced to him and didn't know who he was.
Okay.
Well, what do you think? Are we done with informational items? And we can move into our closed session. We can give everybody an opportunity to regroup here.
Any public comment on closed session agenda items by the public?
Jay?
No.
Okay. There is no one else online, so there is no public comment. So we can go ahead and move into the closed session at
Okay, so we'll clear
8:09.
the room and we'll get prepared to enter into closed session.
So you're gonna handle the Zoom?
Yes. I will pause it.
And you should, just. Did we lose Karen if we do that?
No.
You should